The Lost Generation in Literary Works. Who is the Lost Generation? The Lost Generation refers to the group of young people who had no motivation to do much because of the Great War. The Great War, which is also known as World War I, shocked many people. Youngsters tended to focus on the hedonistic point of view. They used alcohol, money, sex, and other worldly possessions in order to distract themselves from the real life. Gertrude Stein, who is portrayed on the right, coined the term the Lost Generation. Stein is also a friend of Hemingway. Literary works. Authors were also shocked by the war. They started to write about their lives. Some of these authors included Ernest Hemingway, T.S. Eliot, William Faulkner, and F. Scott Fitzgerald. Shown on the left are William Faulkner's Barn Burning, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, Ernest Hemingway's The Snows of Kilimanjaro. These authors are notable because of the description of the characters' lives, which were sometimes based on themselves. A good example of this is Ernest Hemingway's The Snows of Kilimanjaro. The Lost Generation's books focused on the loss of direction in life, controversial views of American beliefs, and reminiscence of the past. Most of these books had common themes of regret, aloofness, and escapism. A good example of escapism in a book is Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. Ernest Hemingway's The Snows of Kilimanjaro. The Snows of Kilimanjaro is about Harry and his wife who are trapped in an African safari, and they can only wait and see if someone is going to rescue them. Harry knows that he is going to die, and instead of trying to escape, he sits there and thinks of his life that has passed. He sees his actions, which he regrets. His actions are shown in a couple of short stories in the book. This is where Hemingway portrays the lost generation's ways of life. One example of this portrayal is when Harry's thinking how he has destroyed his talents by not using them, by drinking so much that he blunted the edge of his perception, by laziness also. This is what most people did back in that time. They did not care for their talents. They did not use them for the better of society. Instead, they distracted themselves and just tried to get away from life. Since the book is actually based on Hemingway's real life, it shows how he did not use his talents to the best of his abilities. Hemingway was a writer, and he did not commit to it, and he feels sorry for himself. It figuratively shows how he is dying. This portrays most of the people during that time. They wasted themselves on materialistic things. This hedonistic view was the main focus of this era. After the war, many individuals were shocked by the devastation. To get away from this shock, they realized that worldly pleasures can distract them. One lesson we can learn from the Lost Generation is that we cannot run away from our lives. Instead, we should try to resolve our problems and hope that our future generation can do the same. This way, we can lead our lives peacefully